Today we're going to be talking about the Chesapeake Law Enforcement Explorer Post. Joining me today to talk about this great program is Sergeant K.A. Holland and Senior Police Officer D. Tucker. Thank you both for being here today.
Thank you.
So what is the Police Explorer program?
The program is for Chesapeake young adults. As long as you have completed the 8th grade and at least 14 years old, you can come into the program to learn more about the law enforcement community and careers.
You said it was you 14? Or?
Yes, you have to be at least 14 to join, and then you can stay in the program to at least 21 as long as you join before your 18th birthday.
Okay, and so if you have further interest to being a law enforcement officer, you can then apply to join.
Correct.
The
They
force.
stay until
Okay.
they're 21, and then they're eligible to become a law enforcement officer.
So what are the requirements? So I know you said if you've completed 8th grade, but there are any other requirements as far as grades or?
Once you've completed the 8th grade and are at least 14 years old, you're welcome to come out to our meetings. We meet the 2nd and the 4th Mondays of each month. You have to do 3 meetings before you can join, and there's an application fee. We do have a requirement to at least have a 2.0.
Okay, so you do have to at least have a 2.0.
Yes.
And there is just a one-time application fee?
Correct.
That's what I was going to ask, if there was any money involved. So how do the Explorers assist the police department?
So what they do is, we have the Jubilee coming up. So one of the things that they'll do is they'll man the lost and found tent with the advisors. They've also helped with traffic direction at certain events. And when we have fundraisers, they will come out and help with those as well. Such as there's a fundraiser where they have a softball tournament, and during COVID, they were going out there and cleaning the dugouts in between the teams going in and out.
So are the fundraisers for just the police department or the Explorer program?
The fundraiser we typically help out with is the Chiefs Foundation.
Okay.
So that's one of our big things. But we also do a lot of stuff in the community, such as the Great Exchange, Friends with the Library, and what is the other one? I can't think of off the top of my head. Oh, we also do Adopt a Highway.
Okay, yes,
So-
I've seen that sign. So,
Yes.
So they get a little bit of a taste of everything.
Yes.
More or less. So what is involved in the training?
So our meetings, we typically try to go over different units of the police department. We try to give them like K9 demos and information about that. We also give them information about the negotiators and SWAT team, and they are able to talk to them and get a good information from officers that actually do that position if that is something that they're looking into. Then that way they have a good idea of what they need to focus on in their own life to accomplish what they need to. Some of the other things that we try to instill on them is just general life skills, like leadership. That leadership skills is something we just went over with them not too long ago. Communication skills. Just things that will actually help them in their personal life, as well as if their goal is to become a law enforcement officer, to get them there as well.
It sounds like there's a lot of community experience. So, and that's important as an officer.
Yes.
To be able to interact with the community and give back in a way.
Yes,
So-
that's a big focus for us, as well as teaching them about the law enforcement career. Because if you want to be a law enforcement, you are giving back to the community. So you have to be able to have that tie with them and understand how important that tie to community is.
It's about building the relationships.
Absolutely.
So, and I know that there's a lot of, and I even realized this myself after going through the Citizens Police Academy, I just was surprised how many different areas of the police department there were. I don't think a lot of people realize that, as you were saying earlier, how, especially for a young person who may be interested, it sort of gives them a taste of all the different areas, like you were saying, negotiation, and then, like, I know the officers who work on the water, Marine Patrol, there you go, I know there was a name for it. So there's a lot of different areas, definitely. So how many currently Explorers are there in the program?
Currently, we have about 10 explorers.
Okay, is that typical or does it just vary?
It varies.
And how did you promote it, like within the schools? How would somebody find out about it if they were interested in it? Obviously, we're doing this interview to promote it, but it's I think on the police website. Tell
It
us
is on
about
the police website. Also, we like to go out into the community, so when we go out, they actually have uniforms that they
Okay.
wear that promotes, that is Police Explorer Post 161, as well as we'll go into the high schools, because you have to be in the high school. So we'll go into the cafeterias and give out freebies to them and give out brochures to anyone that can take it for themselves or their friends. And they're welcome to come out to a meeting to see if they're interested.
Okay, so that does, I mean, it just sounds like a great program, definitely. So how does being a police explorer prepare someone for being an officer? You mentioned it exposes them to the many different potential jobs within the police department and as well as the community. Are there any other ways?
There's also, once they're a senior in high school, if they want to go and get a criminal justice degree, they can apply for a scholarship, and that will help them get that scholarship as well. It's also making networking with officers. So then that way, like I said, if they have an interest in canine, they can talk to them and be like, hey, what do I need to work on? Well, you got to be able to run so much. You have to be able to do this, that. You got to be able to be strong enough to do it. Got to be able to handle your dog, and whatever requirements. Or if it's SWAT, like you have a PT test, and this is the requirements for your PT test when you want to go out to be a SWAT officer. And just before you can even get to those points in your career in law enforcement, just guiding them and being a good mentor for them on even getting into the police department and becoming an officer. So then that way they have a better idea of what they're getting into. I think some people that want to become a police officer don't have all of the details of what we do. They just think, oh, well, you're out there doing traffic stops or taking people to jail. It's much more than that.
Yes, I agree, and I also think that it could be intimidating maybe for some kids. So this gives them that opportunity to see that all the good that you guys do for the community and everything else that you do, other than, like you said, if somebody sees you directing traffic, there's so many more things to that. So, and I think having that little bit of taste of it is going to make it a lot easier, like you said, when you do apply and you sort of have an idea of what to expect.
Right.
So where can someone find out more information if they wanted to?
They can go to our Facebook webpage, which is Chesapeake Police Explorers, and they can also email me. I believe my email's on the screen somewhere. But my email is kholland1@cityofchesapeake.net.
Okay,
So
great. Well, I appreciate you both coming out to tell us about this great program.
I appreciate it.
All
Thank
right,
you for having us.
Absolutely. Well, that does it for this edition of A Closer Look, and we appreciate you joining us, and we'll see you next time.